Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is customary to offer the now retired honoree an opportunity to say a few words. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce this fantastic guest of honor, Master Chief Rashaun R. Mars, United States Coast Guard Reserve, retired.
I can't believe we're finally here. It has definitely been a surreal day. It's a day I've been waiting for a long time, and it's finally here, and it's even more amazing than I imagined it. And it couldn't have been so had it not been for you all being here. And again, thank you so much for those amazing words. Thank you, my two BFFs on the front row, for those awesome words. They just meant so much. And just looking out at the audience, seeing the people here has meant so much. My cousin coming in from Florida, my 90-year-old grandmother who's connecting virtually, along with my aunt who's her primary caregiver. She's more like a big sister to me. And so many people. Some of you have come thousands of miles to be here. And I am just overwhelmed. So thankful that all of you are here. And I don't want to keep you long, because I know you've been here for a long time already. But I just wanted to try to do a little bit of a recap. Thank you so much. I had a towel, but I left it on the seat. Thank you. It's cold and clean, so. But one of the things that I've just tried to do in the different duty stations that I've gone to since the very beginning is just always trying to be teachable, always ever learning. And I figure no matter whether you're at the junior end of the spectrum or the most senior end, we can all learn from each other. So I've tried to keep that with me. And certainly my learning started big time in boot camp. For those of you, any of you guys that were here in the late 80s, you might remember Bonanno. And he had Bonanno aerobics. He said, you may not be smarter, but you will be stronger when you leave here. And he was not kidding. We also had something called IT, which was intensive training. I never got it, but they sounded like they were being murdered in there, and I knew I didn't want that. So I tried to do everything I could to be above the line and as low-key as possible. And then obviously I hated being tall growing up. I was always the tallest one and a lot thinner back then, so I was called olive oil, believe it or not. Not a compliment either, but the opportunity to be able to go to the ceremonial honor guard where I was all of a sudden the short one, I decided, you know what, I want the Frankenstein shoes because I want to give myself a little extra height. But it was just such a special time. The opportunity to be on the White House lawn and watching over military honors for funerals and seeing dignitaries and President Reagan walking right in front of me at arm's length. I mean, it was what an amazing opportunity as an 18-year-old seeing that. And I will say, going through training, it was very tough. It was very challenging. But when I got my IGLAT, for those of you guys that are serving on the honor guard now, what an amazing honor. And one of the things that was said when we got our IGLAT was, by accepting this IGLAT, you're accepting a commitment to excellence as a way of life. So it wasn't going to be just in the honor guard, but it was going to be well beyond the honor guard. This is a way of life. And one of the officer, or the officer in charge of the honor guard at that time was Mr. Montoya. He was probably my first unofficial mentor. I loved being in the honor guard, did not want to leave when it was time to go to A school, and he pushed me to go. And one of the things that I got from that was, you step outside of your comfort zone, and then when you get comfortable, you step out again. And then when you get comfortable, you step out again. And I absolutely appreciated that. I appreciated the amazing leadership there, and I gained a lot from that. But I will say that you can gain things from the the challenging leaders as well. When I think about challenging leadership, I think about a quote, and I love quotes, so you'll probably hear a few, from Abraham Lincoln, and he says, "Many men can stand adversity, but a true test of a man's character is to give him power." Not everyone does well with that power, unfortunately, but even those guys, you can learn from them. Someone said, and you guys have probably heard this quote before, life is often 20% of what happens to you and 80% of how you respond to it. And so I've chosen to respond to it in a better way. One of my heroes I love is Mrs. Michelle Obama. She loves the military, so I loved her immediately when I found that out. And one of her quotes that she says is, "When they go low, you go high." I love that quote, and I've held that dear to me. Obviously, going to a lot of different units, again, I want to gain something from every place that I go to. One of the things that Admiral Tianton said that I gained at a certain unit was loyalty. And that was especially true, as he had mentioned before, when I was at Sector Boston. My daughter, unfortunately, was hurt in child care, and it was definitely one of the most challenging times of my life at that point. But the command that I worked for was phenomenal. I couldn't have asked for a better support group. I couldn't have asked for better shipmates. I remember one of my shipmates that I worked with there, she used to always say, and I carried that quote with me as well, she's here today, Chief Warrant Officer Robinson. She said, "Choose your battles. Not every battle is worth fighting." But the loyalty that I gained there because these guys were so supportive, especially the sector commander. The sector commander found himself in a little trouble down the road, and unfortunately things took a turn. But it never changed my opinion of him at all because I knew he cared. And it just reminded me of, and some of you guys have heard me even say this, it reminded me of the movie Blindside. And for those of you guys that have seen that movie, you remember Michael Orr was this big guy, and they thought he was going to be a beast on the football field, and he ended up being more of a teddy bear. They didn't want a teddy bear in the football field. And so the mom, his surrogate mom, she was basically trying to educate the coach on, here's what makes him tick. He didn't quite get it at first. And then one day, there's a bad call made when Michael Orr is on the field. Immediately, that coach jumped up and he said, "He is like a son to me. I will fight for him. I will stand by him." And Michael Orr is watching him and thinking, "I can't believe this guy thought about me like that." But from that moment forward, it changed the way Michael Orr played the game. And as I have opportunities to talk to chiefs, I tell them all the time, you're going to hear a lot. Take care of your people, take care of your people. It is not a cliche. Because when people know that you support them, they will be there for you. They will be more forgiving. So I can't encourage you enough, whether you think you're in a leadership role or not, people are watching. People are paying attention. Care about your people, and you will be amazed at the support that you have. Someone was at my house recently, and I think he's here. He was helping me out with a major plumbing problem that I had, and I so appreciated the fact that he would take time out to come over and help me and save me a lot of money. And when he came to my house and he said, I said, "Man, I'm going to tell my daughter about this." And he said, "Tell your daughter that people like us do things like this with people like you because you care about the little things, you care about the birthdays and things like that." And that just very moving to me. So when you do things like that for people, it really does matter. And I walked away with that. And fast forward, when I made E9, my mother was actually visiting me at the time. And I was shocked. As a matter of fact, Mike Galicki, he was the one that called me. I don't know if he knew that. He was the first one to tell me that, and I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. My mother, she was excited for me, even though she didn't really know what that meant. And then I learned, like, wow, only less than 1% ever make it to Master Chief. Oh my goodness, But I knew it wasn't just about rank. I knew it was about a responsibility. What am I going to do with this? And then I was thinking about, when people invest money, they invest money because they want to make money. You have to invest it in order to make money. But if you bury it, sure, you won't lose it, but you won't gain anything. So I knew once I made that rank that I knew I had to do something with it. And that's why I decided to put in a package and become a Command Master Chief, which of course has been so rewarding. I just want to leave you with some final thoughts. These are final thoughts that, again, have been given to me. I'm a plagiarizer. If I find something good, I'm going to hold on to it, and also I'm going to share it. But 2 years ago was definitely one of the toughest years. When I lost my biggest fan, my greatest cheerleader, and my best friend, and it was my mother. But I learned so much during that time, and the support, again, was phenomenal. The support was amazing. And I tell my daughter all the time, when people have needs, don't be the last one to step up. Be the first one to step up and volunteer and help people, because you never know when you're going to be on the receiving end of it. And the support that I got was amazing. And one of the things that I heard was, no matter what, you keep standing. No matter how rough the seas get, never give up. Good enough is never good enough. You are only confined by the walls that you set for yourself. For many of you, you've been given the gift of leadership. Don't waste it. I heard a woman say, when she was on her deathbed, it doesn't matter anymore how long I live. It matters. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? What do you want to be remembered for? I believe with each of you in this room, you are powerful, you are strong, and you are capable. Some of you have read about amazing people that were ordinary people that did extraordinary things. I think about one of my heroes, Desmond Doss. They did a movie about his life called Hacksaw Ridge. And I just remember they thought he was a coward. They thought he wasn't going to amount to anything. And he ended up being one of the biggest heroes. And I just remember that line in the movie, just one more, Lord. Just one more. These men and women changed history forever. And I believe that inside of each and every one of you is that same power, that same strength, and that same life-changing capability. My challenge for each of you is to find that person in you and set that person free. I believe, Justin Knudsen, you are going to do a phenomenal job. You have impressed me since the very beginning. I'm so happy for you. I wish you all the best. Semper Paratus. God bless you guys. I love each of you. Thank you so much for being here.